What's going on, everybody? I know it's a day late and a dollar short, but you know what? We live in the COVID era, and this is COVID time, so we do what we do. Welcome to another Suplex City Chats. I am, of course, your host, Maddie, tonight. A couple of our normal panelists are away on other business, but that's okay. When they get done, they can join us if they want. So let's go to the man that is so evil, he doesn't have the Dark Order. He's got the Darker Order, Mr. Evil Dose.
What's up, everyone? Feeling darkness all around us. Let me tell you something. The villain is on assignment. Right now, he's taking care of the remnants of the Dark Order in Antarctica. That's why he's not here. The Painmaker, it's too secret. It's too evil. I can't even tell you.
Even I don't know. And I run this bitch. So go figure. And then he is the best that ever was, the best that ever is, and the best that ever will be, Mr. JB3.
Wow. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. At wrestling, we're going to talk about some things, starting with the Clash. Yeah, so I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to get down with some wrestling talk.
Well, let's jump into some cock, shall we? Oh, yep, I went there. Clash of Champions, COC. What can I say?
TVMA.
Damn right it is. So, in my opinion, the Raw side of this was kind of Raw TV shit. The ambulance match was cool. I kind of like seeing. I guess we can touch on that real quick. I like kind of seeing the many faces of Drew God damn it, I almost said Drew. Randy Orton. I kind of like seeing, his past come back to get him. I thought when he got chokeslammed by Big Show, I thought it was retribution. I was like, you know what? That works. Just do it. And then come to find out they all have COVID, so I guess it doesn't work. But what do y'all think real quick of Drew giving him the punt, throwing his ass in?
Who do you want to go first?
I don't care. You're next to me, so go first.
All right. I thought this match was fine. I thought it was clever. I mean, those two, they give a pedestrian match pretty much, but I thought it was clever. I agree with you. I thought the Big Show was retribution at first, and that might have worked also. But when I saw that it was the Big Show, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to do, all of his past sins are going to revisit him. The only one that was missing is Edge. I guess he's more hurt than I thought that he couldn't even do a run through, or maybe he just was unavailable. But no, I thought it was good. I thought the Christian thing was good. I thought the sweet chin music on the top of the ambulance was good, and I liked the little finger poke to finish the fall, a little cartoonish there, a little comedy. And then Ric Flair driving. I mean, that's all he could do. I know a lot of people were complaining that Drew doesn't look strong or whatever, but he did have a broken jaw. It was Randy Orton. It was fine. It's fine. We know he's going to be facing Randy Orton again. We're going to get it one way or another. So whatever. I thought it was clever. It was good. The whole show was okay.
Yeah, he's going to give him hell, don't you know? He's going to take him in hell. I guess we know where this match is going, don't we? JB3, what did you think about that?
I was cool with it. It seemed like it was a nice way to end. I mean, that was an end. So to me, with what we talk about a little bit later, seems weird in a weird way, in a sense. But I guess it still was some separation. Like, I feel like that was the cap for Drew and Randy. Like, there shouldn't be another chance after that punt. The punt, all the legends coming back and doing what they did. Like, it was like, to me, that was the end of it. So I'm ready to see something different. But yeah. I was satisfied with the match.
I thought you're not going to.
Sweet chin music is always nice to see.
Yeah. And God, I love that. I love that shot where he hits him, and you could just see it from like down, looking up, almost cinematography. Like, it was beautiful. And then he just does that cartoon, like you said, and he falls. I thought it was great. The Asuka, we all knew Asuka was going to win. No big surprise there, you know. And then she came out and challenged Bailey, which I was kind of whatever. We all know it was a work to lead to her versus Sasha Banks, and then the rumor come out that, you know, that's going to headline Hell in a Cell in the 25th. So, you know, it was fine.
Yeah.
I
didn't like Asuka in this position, but I mean, they probably only had so many bodies that they could count on.
Right. All right. Now let's jump to the two major SmackDown side. We have, gentlemen, make that scroll across the bottom. We had the Intercontinental three-way ladder match. Holy shit. If you don't know, if most people don't know, I'm a stickler for stipulation matches. Those are always my thing. Chair matches kind of suck in my opinion, but, you know, let's just hit each other in the back with the chair. But this ladder match, holy shit. Like, AJ Styles threw the mini ladder like a fucking javelin. It was great. And just, yes, if the replay really killed it, in my opinion. You know, I had to reach out and see him actually make it. But, JB3, what did you think of this?
I thought it was a brilliant ladder match. I think ladder matches these days can be like, it's weird to say. Okay, first off, you think about back in the early 90s, WrestleMania 10, SummerSlam 95.
Oh.
All those ladder matches were a thing, and then the Hardys and the Dudley and Evan Christian made it into something like insane. So now that we're in 2020, it's like you've seen so many ladder matches, you're like, oh, okay, well, what can they do? So you have AJ Styles, which is literally the epitome of I can work with anything and anybody and make it wonderful. He's phenomenal. You got
just ask him. Just ask him.
Yeah, veteran of the ladder match. Like, and that, yeah, like I was saying before we went live, like that swanton off the big ladder, that was so pitch perfectly nailed. It was like there was no better way to land. It was just brutal. And then you got Sami Zayn, which is probably the best genius heel in wrestling. And it was, so the last two things I'll say is like the handcuff stuff was brilliant. And it was just really nice to see one of the last times I can remember an undisputed Intercontinental Champion. He was a babyface, Razor Ramon, at WrestleMania 10. It might have happened again after that, but I'm talking about the two belts. And then this is a similar story, but it was the heel, and it was so clever how he used the ladder and everything, and he walked away with the belts. And it was just nice to see two Intercontinental Championships in his hand, and I'm calling him the undisputed champion because, to be frank, he never lost it. And they said they wouldn't punish him if he left, and then he came back. And I know, obviously, he's not being punished. He's the Intercontinental Champion, but that kind of was in a sense with that story. That like, you were gone, but were you? He didn't say it on the air, but everybody knew why he was gone. You know, so it's nice to see.
And I think that's why he got it back, is because of the fact that they had to take it from him. Because, you know, they didn't know how long these stars were going to be gone for. So they basically went, all right, you're going to be gone. We'll take it away. We'll make it look like it's a big thing. You come back, you can get it back.
Yeah. You know, I'm not going to say a lot about this match, but that doesn't mean that's not a negative. I think that you guys covered it. I thought the match was brilliant. I thought it was really clever, really creative for any promotion. Exceptionally creative for a non-cinematic match for WWE, at least for the last, I don't know, several years anyway. I thought it was great. And I'm not even really a big fan of either Sami Zayn or Jeff Hardy. I like AJ. Everyone likes AJ. But I thought this match, if you could do a better ladder match, I don't really think that I remember one. So all good things. I thought it was great.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I just want to talk about that finish. Actually, before we get to that, can we just say that Sami Zayn is the luckiest son of a bitch in the face of the earth? Like that ladder coming down. Like when AJ Styles went for the phenomenal forearm and he hit that ladder, and it takes out Jeff Hardy and Sammy's just tucked up into a ball. And he looks around like, I can't believe this shit worked. Like spots were so cartoony, but they worked.
Right,
that
like
was perfect. And I don't think he's lucky. I think that was choreographed, and that's part of the brilliance of it.
But I'm sure it was. But
remember when he clicked AJ's hand with the cuffs, and he couldn't get it on the ropes, and then AJ started fighting back. When AJ suplexed him, he took the suplex, but what no one's seen is that he hooked the other one to his wrist. Mm-hmm. So when AJ tried to climb the ladder, he just was stuck.
That dead weight just came up.
I loved it. I was like, man, Sami Zayn, like he's doing
that shot of they cuffed through Jeff Hardy's earlobe and on that.
He's doing things that nobody else did before.
Yeah,
ladder match, like
we all knew when Jeff Hardy put that ladder upside down in a V shape like this that something was going to happen. We knew they were setting up that spot, but holy crap! And you got to give AJ Styles credit. He jumped and turned and made it look like he pushed him in just seconds. So,
oh my God.
This, on a fun scale, this was my favorite match of the night. Now, the next one we're going to talk about was my favorite on a story level because it was just gripping, and it was the Universal Championship between Jey Uso and his cousin, the Tribal Chief, and your reigning, defending Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Oh, I don't know where to start. It kind of had a Rocky 3 feel to me. Kind of that underdog fighting the big guy, and the fact that Jimmy had to come in and throw the towel in for him just like Rocky should have. Dallas, what did you think? Like, there's so much I could say.
Well, I think you mean Rocky 4.
Correct. Correct.
But I get you, and I've also seen the meme, so I had a little cheat on that. I thought this was really good too. My only issue with it is I think that they gave Jey Uso probably around double the offense that he needed to get in it. I think that it should have been more one-sided, though since they're doing a rematch, I guess it sort of makes sense. That aside, that's a little bit of nitpicking. I loved when Paul Heyman was almost taking mercy on Jay, and he's going, "I am your tribal chief. I am your tribal chief." He's like, "I don't need to hear it from you. I don't want to hear it from you. I need to hear it from him." And I knew that the gimpy Jimmy was going to come out and do something. Now I thought he'd have a crutch, and I thought that Roman would murder him also. But anyway, I guess he's not cleared for contact. But I thought that was really good too. My only legitimate complaint with it is towards the end when Jay is supposed to be really beaten down and really hurting. His body's working with him. His face is making the right expressions, but his voice did not sound like he was speaking in pain. It just sounded like his regular voice. I mean, he couldn't even try. He's like, "No, I don't give up." I mean, I could have badly acted. He did. It was his regular voice that irritated me. But aside from that, I agree with you. The story was great. This is the Roman that we should have had for most of the last. Forget the cancer timeout. The most of the last 5 years when he was an active competitor. Better late than never. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but in the short time that he's been champion through present, he has made himself the most important world champion in wrestling.
I could agree to that. He definitely makes the claim. JB3, what did you think of this family affair?
It was amazing. It was a great family affair. I didn't see anything that I cared about on this level in a long time when it comes to the story. it takes a lot these days for, like I said before, again, 2020. It takes a lot these days for wrestlers to be able to suspend our beliefs. And I know sometimes we choose to because we're diehard wrestling fans, but sometimes they do it for us. And this is one of those cases for me because, Paul Heyman helps when he brings up the history, and the video package guys help when you see the pictures from them when they were kids and you talk about from the football field to the wrestling ring. Like, that's real. So when they can suspend your belief, and then you have someone like Roman Reigns, who everybody has said it in the last 5 years. Any interview you've ever heard people talk about, Chris Jericho has said it. Other people have said it. They said if they would just let him be him, like he could be so good, and it don't matter what he does. It just so happens that he's this heel, and you said it, Dose. He's the most important world champion in wrestling right now, and he did that. He literally walked in, showed up, won, wrecked everybody, and left. And he's the tribal chief, and it's what we've been waiting for. And if somehow we're lucky, and we get The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, that's perfect. If not, which is more than likely not, because The Rock's not gonna he probably ain't gonna wrestle anymore, but there's someone. But still, it's awesome. It's awesome. The match was perfectly executed when it comes to doing what they need to do with the story. And I haven't seen SmackDown as of yet, but I can only hope that eventually Roman Reigns will muscle his cousins into following him, and they will eventually follow him. And we will get, whether they like it or not, he's the head of the table. We're going to get the Samoan dynasty, the Samoan family, the Samoan, whatever you want to call them, and Paul Heyman's going to lead them. If that's what it leads to, he should stay Universal Champion for, golly, he should stay at least until WrestleMania or even past.
Well, now I have a theory because of exactly what you just said. If The Rock can't do it, which is no big, in my opinion, I could care less either way. The Rock is a goddamn movie star now. He's not a wrestler. I think at WrestleMania, if that doesn't happen, we will see the face Fiend versus Roman.
That's possible. I have another suggestion.
Well, because they're setting up the Fiend to be the baby face of a brand.
I think
those have Trace Bessis.
I mean, I could feel that, but if I seriously could fantasy book it, I would do the Fiend stuff at Royal Rumble, and I would have someone win the Royal Rumble, and the winner of the Royal Rumble would go on a feud with Roman Reigns, and it would be a baby face, and there would be a reason for him to it would be a reason, and it would go with the story, because Paul Heyman, he's not in charge.
Oh God, I think I know where you're going with this, but okay.
The fans will be back. He'll probably sign a new contract.
Yeah,
and if he does,
Uno Ves. Okay, first of all, you fellows didn't see SmackDown tonight, so this is a mini spoiler. Sorry about that, but the Fiend is not being turned face anytime soon. They made that very clear tonight. So that's Uno Ves. Dos Ves is that I think Paul Heyman is being more like the Paul Giamatti character in the commercials, where he's the accountant to Macaulay Culkin's brother. I think he's going to be more in the subservient background office thing. I think I know where you were going with possible face Brock, and I don't think that you can diminish that at all. I just don't know that if in this era that they're going to pay him that much for those few appearances when they might not be selling tickets, and 90% of the people who watch these shows already do it through the network, either for $10 a month or a free trial. So I don't know why in these times when they're laying people off, you can justify paying Brock $10 million for really for nothing. Unless, and if you do, it's got to be because he's on TV to
The
bump
story
ratings.
is so there, though, man. The story is just right laid out in front of him.
I know it's there, and
He's
that
got
brings me
this
to
time. Brock's the one that has to
Fest.
save. This time, Brock's the one who has to save the Universal Championship and Paul Heyman from Roman Reigns, not the other way around.
I got it, but since we're fantasy bookings, allow my little fantasy to play in here, okay? And this may work, but it's an extra step, so bear with me a bit, okay? AEW has been working a little bit with NWA and a little bit with MLW. Not exactly. They've exploited that MLW loophole where AEW didn't exist at the time of their contracts. So there's been MLW people on there, and they've stolen some of MLW's people. Yeah, they gave Jimmy Havoc back, but Brian Pillman Jr. has been there, and he's making noises like he'd like to stay, and they'll probably lose some of their people to AEW when those contracts expire. Where am I going with this, you wonder? Here's where I'm going. In order to get a little bit more exposure and for MLW to pick up some steam, maybe they lend WWE Jacob Fatu and build him up as a monster. Little cross promotion, and Jacob Fatu battles for the tribal chieftain position.
Ooh. I like all three ideas personally. I'm okay with either one of the three. In my opinion, I just want to see this continue with Roman. Let's just leave it at that.
Right.
All right, gentlemen. Let's. Yeah, so we're gonna skip SmackDown because, well, like we said, two of us haven't seen it. But let's jump back to last week's Raw. Yikes! So Drew McIntyre came out, challenged whoever he wanted to basically an open challenge if they haven't fought him for the championship. Okay. Asuka and Selena Vega was basically a replay of Clash of Champions. She tapped out the same way. No big deal, right?
Right.
This is the interesting one. Andrade and Keith Lee. What's interesting about it is when Zelina is walking to the back, Andrade's out there and just reaming her. You were the weak one. He's the hurt one. I'm still standing. And then they had a pretty decent TV match.
He got crushed in 4 minutes.
Well, it's a TV match, though.
I mean, but you can't say you were the weak one, I'm still standing, and then you get destroyed. I mean,
well, it's WWE. Their writers aren't that good.
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm not saying it was his idea and they really got destroyed. It's just dumb. I mean, make him beat somebody, even if it was Carrillo again, or again, bring out Ali, whatever.
Ali gets beaten later, if you remember correctly. So, yeah, that was that. Then we found out Mandy Rose. We found out a couple of weeks ago Mandy Rose had been switched over to Raw because of, quote-unquote, The Miz. Now we found out that Dana Brooke has been sent there, and they teamed against Lana and Natalya. Yeah, this was bad. This was bad. And then Mandy Rose warned the tag team champions that they were coming for the gold. This was bad. This was just bad.
I'll look on the positive side. They have no women's tag team, so at least they're creating a women's tag team, and maybe Retribution will be another, and maybe those titles will get more important. But holy moly, you break her up from a tag team. You trade her off. I mean, we all know what happened with Sonya, but the breakup had happened anyway. And then you trade her to Raw to put her in another tag team with a worse partner. But at least they have a clever name that they're not using yet. But I'm coining it right here. You guys all here. We're on the record. Blonde Ambition.
Blonde Ambition. I like it. That's good shit. That's good shit.
Is the Bianca Belair vignette on your list? Because that might have been the only really good part of Raw.
I believe that came later in the night, but I could be wrong. Oh, it's not on the list, but that's okay. Let's talk about it then. Because JB3, I'm sure you were going to call Mandy them trash.
Yeah. No, the vignette was cool, but Bianca's got it. She's got what it takes. You can already tell. You can see it. You can see it whether or not she's live. You can see it whenever she's there. She's a superstar. She literally, when she says that she's the EST, that girl is the EST, man. She believes it. She walks it. She talks it. She backs it up. It's been so long. I can't even say so long. It's been a while since you've seen someone with as much swag as that girl got, because she just drips swag. You see her smiling in the video when she let him get a head start, and I'm like, the girl knows that she's the best. Like, I can't wait to see. Everybody compares it, obviously, to the Mr. Perfect stuff. So obviously, it's great. But man, like, it's just I want to see. I want to see. I hope. I'll just say this. I hope that they let her use a lot of that in her in-ring repertoire, so that she can do things. Like, she's already got the finisher. She's already got some signatures. I want to see a couple more, like, perfection type things. That type of stuff. Because that's dope. Everything that's happening there is so awesome.
That's true. I like the vignette. I think they're going to build it up where it's going to be her versus Asuka eventually, which, in my opinion, awesome. That could be a hell of a match, in my opinion. Next, moving on, we had Kevin Owens and Aleister Black go at it. I really enjoyed 99% of this match.
Yeah.
But that ref got too close and caught an elbow. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would you do that? Let this shit go, you know? If you didn't want, one of them to win by disqualification or whatever, have Aleister Black low blow, KO or something.
Or don't have the match.
Nothing to add, man. I agree with you. I mean, I don't mind the feud. I'm just not.
I love the idea of the feud. I love the idea of the feud. I think they could go rounds.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, I was waiting for the sign that said trash, but okay.
Trash. But I like you said, I don't mind the feud. I don't mind the feud.
Alrighty.
I understood the ref spot.
Yeah. If you took out the ref spot, it could have easily been the match of the night because of how good it was. But now let's move on to the final match of the night. We'll get to the last weirdest promo segment ever. Last, we had Drew McIntyre come out and say, "I'm going to challenge whoever." Dolph Ziggler's music hits. And I'm like, no, this already happened twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "It's the glorious one." I went, that's a good idea. I like that. They could work. And they had a pretty decent, TV match.
It was okay. And I knew it was going to be, I want to say Rick Rude, but that's not his name, Bobby Roode, because I know that Dolph has been tweeting about him, but negative stuff. So I think what's going to happen is one of them is going to turn, and they're going to have a little feud to keep them occupied. But yeah, you're right. It was fine. Bobby Roode is solid. Drew beat him. Good. I mean, he's the champion. He should, it's no different in stature than Moxley facing Kingston. So, I mean, Kingston is obviously has more personality, but Roode has more of a resume. In any event, it's not a direct parallel, but it just, they both had championship matches. Yeah, I agree. I think it was a fine TV match. Drew won, and then it led up to, well, we can hear what JB3, well, he's on mute, so.
Tell us about this promo, brother.
I'm fine. You talking about Drew McIntyre and Bobby Roode?
Yeah, and then we're going to lead right into the greatest promo of all time.
The greatest promo of all time.
Or vignette, whatever you want to call it. I'm being facetious.
He's talking about the Orton ending.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
Up there with the greatest wrestling match of all time.
I'm sorry, Robert Roode. It's good to see him again.
Matty Cole is his new name.
Yeah, I'm just glad he still has that awesome mustache. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of him. I'm glad he's back. It made sense that Dolph is the one that brought him out. Might as well give him a random title shot, I guess. If it's an open challenge, you might as well use it for a returning guy. You know, it gives him an opportunity to show some skill, some love. You know, get some love from the champ. It's what champions do. Drew's. It was fine. I get annoyed with random matches, especially like if they're some non-title matches sometimes, or even if it's just like random matches. However, I am a sucker for an open challenge. Open challenges are great, so I'll never complain about an open challenge. And the fact that it was for the title, good for it. It all worked out, and I'm glad Robert Roode is back. It's gonna be a good time.
It's not going to be a good time, damn it. It's going to be a glorious time. Oh.
Damn reverse camera.
Come on now. That was it's phrased like you're an asshole.
That's why you're the boss.
What's Randy Orton? Oh man, yeah.
Oh, I had a little dinger.
What the hell?
Holy shit, he's alive.
The villain has arrived.
Sorry I'm late.
You're good, brother. Welcome.
Well, you were early. You said you weren't coming at all, so.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I thought, I was going to hang out backstage in case you guys were already in your flow. Then I would have just left. But I know I'm late. I thought I was going to be later than this, but you know.
Hey, brother, we're on COVID time. There ain't no fucking late. Come on now.
Villain, did you take care of all those guys in Antarctica I sent you to handle?
Yeah, of course, brother.
Yeah.
I never had a doubt. I just wanted the audience to hear it.
All right, so Villain, we are fixing to talk about the weirdest vignette ever, where Randy Orton puts on welder's goggles and beats the shit out of guys, and you don't hear anybody scream.
Flip the lights out and beat them down with night vision goggles on. Just beat them down and then turn the light on. And I'm surprised.
Yeah, man, you know what?
Shawn Michaels. I'm surprised.
I've seen a lot of people complaining about that.
What's that?
Yeah, I was surprised. I've seen a lot of people complain about this. If it would have been executed a little better, you know, have the guy screaming, have some shots of him actually night vision style, like POV style. You see him hitting people with chairs. I think that would have been a lot cooler. I didn't mind that he was dressed up. You know, sometimes you got to be creative and fun. And Randy Orton could pull it off. You know, he threw on the janitor's gear, had a whole costume. It could have been better. You know, it could have been executed a lot better than it was, because it was a letdown.
Yeah, it was definitely a letdown, but you know what? It did the job, though. I mean, it continued the feud, so, I mean, I suppose it worked. Or do you think it set up a feud between, say, Randy Orton and the Hurt Business?
The Hurt Business?
Well, because if you notice, when the Hurt Business fucking MVP hits him with a water bottle. You know, they didn't do that shit for no reason. You know, they had something in line for that.
Man, just like that dude, I heard someone say it. I think they just was setting up, getting people to see a janitor in the shop.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's a janitor, guys.
Yeah, this segment. I mean, first of all, I think that they can. I won't be mad if this week on Raw they say that they got footage from the night vision goggles and they do a cinematic version where they show it sort of in that green ghostly light where he's clubbing people and they do it again. I doubt they'll do it, but it wouldn't hurt. But here are my issues with it. Randy Orton leaves the building and sneaks back in. No one ever told him to leave. He wasn't kicked out. He works there. So why does he leave and sneak back in? He goes into disguise again in the place that he works, where he's being recorded. He's on film. He knows that, and then he goes into the room and with the disguise off. Well, he's not actually murdering them. He's just going to knock them out, so they know who he is. So why is he disguised in the first place? I don't care that they were welder glasses. We all know what happened that day. It was last minute. They tore up the script. They didn't have bodies. They came up with something fine. Those four guys should have known to scream and act and be like, "Oh no, ow, ow, oh God, no, don't do it," or something. There was like almost no noise. I had an issue with that. And then he skulks back out, puts the disguise back on, and pretends to be the janitor again in a building where he's recorded, where he already works, where everyone's going to know it's him, where he's going to take credit for it to either continue the feud with Drew, and probably, if he heals, this will be tied into Edge coming back and trying to get revenge for, Christian. But the idea was okay. The execution was sort of comical, and people were saying this is what really happened. And they showed from the old X-Men animated series with Cyclops in the danger room, shooting the robots in there. that would have been better. But all right, it was what it was.
Yep. All right, let's move on, shall we? Let's have a little fun. Let's go to the Wednesday Night War. And we're going to start with, usually we start with NXT, but this week we're not. We're going to start with AEW because I'm going to use NXT to segment into our final segment. So, kicking off Dynamite, we had Darby Allin taking on Ricky Starks. Like I said, I didn't get to watch AEW. I had some personal stuff. Actually, I went and watched a movie that I can't talk about. I can tell you guys off camera, but I'm just going to leave it at that. So, Villain, what happened with Darby Allin and Ricky Starks?
What happened was that I don't know, man. AEW's booking seems to always be like no feuds. They had a feud for a little bit, but I guess this is the last match in the feud because Darby Allin won. Like, if you wanted the shit to keep going, stars, Taz can probably be at ringside with his boy. So I don't get that. They had the little interference from Will Hobbs and Brian Cage champion, and I guess those next week. So there's kind of feuds from people that were supposed to be in a 6-way match. I mean, it was what it was. Darby Allin looked good in it, and he picked up the win.
JB3, what do you think? Yeah, I mean, I can agree with a lot of that. The last match, like you would think it would be big, but you're right. They book different. They always book those big matches on Dynamite. But man, that match was a great match. They really put on a show. They work together, and I gotta say something. For some reason, this works for me. Like Ricky Stark's music to open up Dynamite just works. It happened on Dark one time too, where his music just opened it up. Like his music is just like a perfect for me. Like when he came out, I had no idea it was gonna be him and Darby Allin, but he came out and I was like, all right, And then all of a sudden it was Darby Allin, and I was just like, oh, we're getting this. I was like, okay, and it was. I think this could be their blow off match, but I want to see these two go at it like in a bigger setting. Either a longer match or like a gimmick match. I want to maybe some type of a street fight type. They could do some stuff.
Interesting. Dels, how about you? What did you think?
similar to everyone else. I mean, it was a good match. It was a surprise to get it. I thought it was going to, an intriguing matchup to kick off the show. It probably was the best match of the night. But like everyone else, I'm a little bit, confused. Darby won relatively easily and absolutely clean and convincing. So I don't know where this goes from here. Usually a feud like this, it ends on a pay-per-view, and AEW does actually charge money for pay-per-views. So I was a little bit surprised, but okay. I mean, maybe they have plans for them. Now, if this feud continues, I don't understand it, but I mean, I've been watching WWE for a bunch of years, so it's not like I can roll my eyes too much at that. I just don't know where it goes, but it was a good start to the show. I was just a little surprised by the end.
Alrighty. Next, Cody came out to address Mr. Brody Lee. I did see this online. Dasha starts interviewing him. Good God, he has a long damn opening. I think The Undertaker did his opening 3 times in that time. If you know, you know. If not, well, you're watching the wrong show. I kind of like this Spider-Man 3 Peter Parker Cody. And he said yes to the challenge. They're doing the dog collar match next week. Fuck it. JB3, what'd you think of the promo and a dog collar match of all matches?
Cody's so far Cody is doing all these old school things. I could dig it. Evidently, people are predicting it's going to be a bloodbath on TV. I can see that happening. I think it's interesting. I think if Cody's gonna have a dog collar match with anybody, I think Brody Lee is the guy to have that with. I don't know how interested I am so far as like Cody getting another title shot and having it be the TNT title. I am a fan of them having the big feud, but having the title on the line. All the times that the TNT title has been on the line, it has been about the TNT title. This TNT title, it's a great title. I want to defend the title, or I want to win the title. But ever since Brody Lee's came in the picture, it turned it into something else. So I like it. Cody does look weird. The chains, the dark hair. Like his hair seems a little too dark. I don't know. Like it ain't his natural hair color. He just made it black. Like he's just on a darker level. I'm not totally against it, but at the same time, it is what it is. I'm excited to see the match, and he announced it was next week. So, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it is a little sudden, but whatever. Ghost, how about you, brother?
I really like the dark background and the red lights starting Cody's new intro. I guess they're not changing the music either because he really loves it, or he's still pretending he's not turning heel. I don't know who this Cody guy you're talking about. That was clearly Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. And luckily enough, now they finally have a role for Peter Avalon because he can play Spartacus and they can do battle the way they should. I did not like Cody's promo. I thought it was way too corny. Yes, it's old school, but it was too copycat old school. And I mean, you knew he wasn't going to say no. So the delay was just self-indulgence, which another Rhodes did some self-indulgence stuff later on. I just like you, I have no idea why this match is on TV, and I don't know why it's so soon. And a dog collar match does seem like something that should be on a pay-per-view as well. But okay.
But we keep saying that, though. We do have to keep in mind it is Dynamite's 1 year, basically 1 year. Oh, no, that is the following week, isn't it?
Well, today is their actual 1 year anniversary.
Oh, no, next week is the Jericho celebration. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, they're good about giving a theme to every show and trying to make every show sound like it's special. So, I mean, I get that, and I understand that they're treating, they want to beat NXT soundly, but things like, I mean, like I said, they're going to run out of stipulations at some point, and they're just doing them. It's been 1 year and 2 weeks, and they're already on a dog collar match. I mean, they're going to have to go back to Mid-South and Continental days to find out. They're going to have to find Kevin Sullivan and get him back on coke and stuff to figure out some stuff. But you know what? I'd be a liar if I said I'm not going to watch the match. I am going to watch the match. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So, I mean, if that's really the job of a TV show, I guess. So, from a wrestling standpoint, yeah, it seems very accelerated. But, from a viewership standpoint, I'm okay with it. I do think Cody looks ridiculous, though.
Gather he don't like the dog collar match.
Go ahead.
Dog collar is so much. He looks like Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry, it looks like it's a Amazon for some reason delivering late in my neighborhood.
I thought you lived in a bus station.
Oh, believe me, I think that's where I'm going if I ever lose my job. No, but look, to be honest, the dog collar match does sound ridiculous. The way that it was immediately just like set up, there was just literally a small build to it. But of course, Cody being a love of old school wrestling, classic wrestling, I think he and Brody Lee are going to find an interesting angle out of it. I mean, the fact that it's going to be the way I saw Brody Lee holding that dog collar when Cody returned, it looked like there's going to be some padding around to where the neck is. So they're going to be doing a lot of, choke spots or hanging over the rope spots. They're going to try to do a lot of storytelling in this show. One thing I'm in their match, but also at the same time, I think this is going to be a good opportunity. The brunette, as a brunette, I think he can sell being a heel or at least a very aggressive wrestler much better than he can with the blonde hair. Because I don't know what it is with that look, with the brown hair, dark black hair, the piercing stares he had at Brody Lee when he returned, makes me believe this man can be the most intimidating heel in the world. I mean, that's how he was in New Japan and when he did in a small run of Impact.
What's happening to Matt?
He's watching something.
Dancing with the Stars, I guess.
It ain't a horror movie, that's for sure.
No, I've got SmackDown on, and
oh crap, SmackDown's on in my time too. Okay. Mm-hmm.
The thing Evil Dose was telling us about just happened. Is happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean,
in the dark.
I think that we're going to see a lot of grading of those dog collar spikes, and the only problem, I hope Cody goes back to being blonde, so the color is distinct. But I think we're going to see some. There will be blood.
I don't doubt that. 1 second. We're going to see some blood. We're going to see a lot of choke spots. There's going to be some interferences from Dark Order, or Brody Lee will be the lone wolf out there. I mean, it's up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna jump. Yeah. Cody, I liked him a lot more when he was on the Indies because everybody rooted for him. Because 10 years in WWE, he didn't really get a fair shake. You think, but then, we all know he's a executive over there, so he's getting the fucking extra pyro, all the extra stipulations and stuff. And I'm kind of like, he could be a little more humble. But yeah, the interview was kind of lackluster, like Evil Dose said. He kind of the tease, no, and then coming back. It's kind of like, all right. John Silver looked cool though. He comes out. He's the one that had the fucking dog collar, and Brody Lee announced it last week. So those kind of, Brody Lee's just a crazy guy, So it fits. He beat Cody once, and if Cody's gonna come back, then he wants to add something to it. I think the match is gonna be bonkers, and I can't wait to see it. It's just fantasy bucking or any of that shit, or who's gonna win or not. But I don't know, man. I'm not gonna be mad if it goes if it goes another way. But yeah, this was something.
I got a dumb question for you guys, but I should know this, but I'm assuming it is. But is this match for the title?
I don't.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. They sit down. It was on the marquee after Cody had accepted, Even in the little title card, yeah, it says it's gonna be for TNT title.
Okay, well, good. It should be. I don't remember seeing it.
No, yeah, that's the problem. They didn't build this match very quickly. Like, if this is going to be solely built for Full Gear, much more time to really build this out. But the fact it's going to be for the Dynamite celebrations, it's too quick.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes, it is going to be for the TNT title.
Okay.
So I guess we'll move on. Then we had the AEW Tag Team Championship match, SCU and FTR in their 20 minutes of, what did they call it? Hold on.
20 minutes of greatness.
Greatness. There you go. 20 minutes of greatness. There it was, just as I thought. I saw his match too. It was fucking great. It was great tag team wrestling. They all look good. I don't know what's going on with Shawn Spears and Scorpio Sky, but I'm really curious to see where it goes. Dose, what did you think? I was going to JB3, but, Mr. Tag Team, but he ain't here.
Yeah. I was intrigued by the Shawn Spears thing. For the first time in my life, I was interested about something with Shawn Spears, but just like everything else with Shawn Spears, he did nothing else, which I know he didn't book it, but, you have the three members of SCU there. It sort of made sense that Shawn Spears would do something, but he didn't. So, okay. So maybe for another day. I don't watch Dark, so maybe there's a whole thing going on there. Anyway, moving on from that, the match itself was good. FTR is good. I'm about to make a bit of two contradictory statements. I'm really enjoying their clever ways of finding to win by cheating. At the same time, I don't like that they always have to cheat to win, to beat lesser teams. So, I know holding those two thoughts at the same time isn't exactly consistent, but that's how I felt about it. But I thought the match was good. I liked the end. I am liking FTR. And unlike with Cody, I think that FTR, I mean, they've always sort of been this way, but I think them doing the old school thing works. I like how Tully plays subtle roles, but he's material when it matters. But he's not that loud. He's not that much of a presence. He's not like the Jimmy Hart nuisance, but he does the quick sleight of hand when he needs to. So I think all of that was good, and I'll give my time to someone else.
I like the way you brought that up. I like the fact Tully's just kind of in the background. He does something when he needs to. I thought it was clever as hell, grabbing Scorpio Sky's foot and him kind of roll over. Or Kazarian's foot, I'm sorry. And he kind of roll over, and they all three hold him down so the ref can't see it. I liked it. Painmaker, I disagree with your shirt. Zelina Vega is trash, but,
that's your opinion.
And I'm not wrong, but that's okay. We all know you have wrong taste in wrestling, but it's okay, brother. Here we go.
You weirdo.
What, you lit liquor? You cootie queen.
Fart smeller.
Good.
No,
Good.
I will also be. I do agree with you, Dose. I like the fact that them as heels, they have to, cheat to win. But at the same time, if they rely on it, it does make them look like a lesser team. Because the 20 minutes of greatness, I thought was a great idea for them to not only stack the deck against the most tag teams on AEW, but also every now and then sprinkle a little bit of heel tactics, distracting the ref, so they won't see a tag coming in, or, ganging up on someone in a corner, the classic stuff, choking out someone when the ref's back is turned, or have Tully, do a little bit like thumb poke in the eye, or rubbing towel someone's face, old school wrestling like that. It's just, after this match with SCU, FTR comes off weak compared to SCU. The fact that SCU had that big comeback, the fact that they had to rely again on the ref's back being turned to cheat, it hurts them a little bit, but at the same time, I think it's also, like I said, another good way to stack the deck for new teams for the next time they do their 20 minutes of greatness. I just hope that it doesn't end with them in the Bucks at Full Gear, because to me, that story doesn't seem like it's going to pay off, especially with the Bucks' character attitude. I mean, their attitude change.
Yeah. Villain, how about you, brother?
Yeah, I don't know what the other guys are seeing. I really don't give a shit if they cheat to win because they're heels. I expect that. This is a creative way to have Tully complain a couple weeks ago when Tully didn't do nothing in the match, and this time he held the leg. You know what? This team is hands down the best team in the world right now when it comes to tag team champions across every company in the world. You know, they're literally the best team right now until some other team proves me wrong. So, you know, they're that high and mighty. They made a stipulation. They're going to stick by it. If they need to cheat, they need to cheat because they are heels. So I thought this was a good match. SCU is a great team. You know, those three guys, you could change one out like they usually do, and they're still a great team. You know, it was hard hitting. It was great. It was near falls. So, yeah, the Sean Spears shit and Scorpio Sky, that's more dark, you know, Evil Doses. I know you said you didn't know what that was about, but that was from Dark. Yeah. So, yeah, Sean Spears, somehow, I guess they're going to beef and maybe have a match on Dark in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I doubt it's going to be on, you know, Dynamite, but yeah, that's where it's from. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a good match, you know. It was a good tag team match. We don't see these matches that long on other brands right now, you know. So this was a good tag team match. You know, it almost went to 20 minutes, and shit, one would be mad about.
Right. All right, JB3, tell us about tag team wrestling.
I thought it was a good match, just like the match last week. I think it was very similar. It was almost like the same match. It was a bunch of roll-ups. It was, you know, back and forth, heel, face. Bunch of roll-ups, kick out. And then all of a sudden, cheat totally helps them. They win. Literally almost exactly, pretty close to exactly the same. But it wasn't bad. I just noticed all the similarities. I like the Brush of Greatness challenge. I like what they're doing. I like how they're saving the Young Bucks thing, obviously. I like how they're doing it. Like they just kind of like act like they don't matter. Like they're not in the picture. A lot of things happening, but it's a good way to get the championship belts over. It's a good way to get them over as heels, and eventually something's going to happen. It's either building to the faction or it's building. Something's going to happen with Tully. He's too involved.
Still going 4 horsemen.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little off the ring 4 horsemen stuff, or is this are we limiting ourselves to the show?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, because there's a little news out there. Arn Anderson, under his real name, individually filed for the trademark for the 4 horsemen. Okay,
it's possible they can do it.
So, I mean, there's no way he's going to get it.
It's not WWE, so I mean.
Well, there's been a little hubbub about whose it is and this, that, and the other thing. The interesting thing is nobody ever trademarked the 4 horsemen. Now, when it first came up, it was during Crockett Promotions, who was affiliated with the NWA. Crockett became WCW. WWE owns all of that. So, you know, if you go with that privity, WWE should own it under common law. But the last person to file an application was 2 years ago was Conrad under Toot LLC, which I'm sure was Arn Anderson's podcast. So he was denied his application. He got an office action, which is not unusual. They claim market confusion with a clothing company, and they only denied it for Class 25, which is apparel. Class 41, which was the entertainment aspect of it, could have gone forward. But for whatever reason, Conrad didn't do anything. He just abandoned it. I don't know if he would have gotten it or not, and I think at the opposition phase, Ric Flair would have opposed it, J.J. Dillon would have opposed it, Paul Roma could have opposed it, WWE certainly would have opposed it, but nobody did. Conrad just gave up. And so now 2 years later, and let's face it, this symbol's been used by a lot of people over 37 years or something like that. So I'm not sure that anybody could get it, but now Arn's doing it, but he's doing it in his own name. It's not AEW, it's not Cody, and it's not Tully. So that to me is interesting that Arn's doing it in his own name.
I like the idea because maybe he can go, I was this person, I was a part of it. So maybe he's got a better shot at getting it. But we'll just have to wait and see.
He hasn't been on TV in 3 weeks. I mean, I'm not sure I believe in coincidences, though.
And it's possible. I'm just curious why they keep doing this. Because if you notice, even Sean Spears did it. Just briefly. He went like that. And, I mean, for God's sakes, Tully basically just shut up. So
they haven't done this in a few weeks.
Yeah, no, they did it in the Tully did it after the win. He actually did it at the camera.
Okay. My bad.
So it's kind of one of those, I'm up in the air. I'd like to see, a stable with all of them. I think it'd be interesting. Give Sean Spears something to do. Sean Spears is talented as hell. I don't care what somebody on this panel may say. I think he's talented as hell. He's just not really got anything going on lately. He's on Dark a lot. But let's move on. Next we had Isaiah Cassidy and Chris Jericho. This was an old school wrestling match at its best. When you want the younger guy to go over, but your heel or the person that's putting him over has to win. It was fantastic. Isaiah Cassidy looked great. Jericho still picked up the win like he should have. It worked in all the way around. Fuck it. Dose, what do you think?
The exact opposite of you. I hated it. This is exactly what I expected the match to be, and it was my worst fear. Chris Jericho should have wiped the mat with this guy just like he did Joey Janela.
Okay. Painmaker.
Listen, if you want me to elaborate, this was his first singles match ever. I mean, he didn't need to get that kind of shine. I mean, that could have just been the story, and he's being schooled by the former world champion, 30-year veteran. He didn't need that much offense. I mean, AEW seems obsessed with making everyone look good most of the time. I mean, I know there's been squash matches, and there was Jericho Janela, which I just cited, and whatnot, but they're almost obsessed with trying to get over all the young stars, almost at the expense of some people. I mean, they can't afford to make Jericho look not great now. They don't have enough top people. They have a very deep roster and a very deep and wide mid roster, but they don't have a lot of top people. So anyway, like I said, hated it. I'm done.
That's fair enough. JB3, how about you?
Well, I'll be quick with it. I didn't hate it, but I don't know. I didn't hate it, but there's a lot of things that he can get some offense in, but if there's anything to say about it, it was one of the sickest Judas effects I've ever seen.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Painmaker, villain, whoever chimes in, go for it.
Yeah, honestly, it should have been more of a simple, it should have been as competitive as that match was. Yeah, I believe Jericho should have been dominated at least 75% of that match with Cassidy, trying to prove, like Joe said, his first singles match on Dynamite out of his entire time being there, being signed with Private Party. So this being his first singles match, the story was right there. It should have been that he's used as a tag team. He's a tag team guy, so him fighting a singles match should have been a few things are off. Maybe he could have attempted to do maybe a bit of gin and juice, but the problem is because he's always the one doing the cutter, it's kind of how can he do that? There could have been some good wrestling story elements that you could have used through certain moves that could show that he's more of a tag team guy than a singles wrestler, and how Jericho was able to easily dominate and take advantage of that.
I can understand all that. Go ahead, villain.
That's fair.
I gotta agree on the most part because I don't understand why this was a singles match to begin with. He has a partner already. Jericho has a partner. Jericho, said he wants to go in the tag team division. So why this one-on-one match? You're trying to put over a guy that's in a tag team. So it didn't make any sense. I mean, Matt Hardy was out there. The rest of Inner Circle was out there. They didn't really do shit. Jake Hager, helped out a little bit here and there, but I'm guessing this match is setting up Jericho and Hager to squash Luther and Sprentico. So yeah.
I don't know. I want to jump on that real quick. They actually have a name and everything. I think that they're actually going to give Luther and Pentaco a run. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win this match at all, but I think they could help put them over. Personally, I like the fact that they're growing their tag team division. And, I mean, I've said this from day one. I've loved Luther since his Japan days. So, that dude's fucking crazy as hell. So let's see more of him. That's just my opinion. We can move on.
Jericho has said constantly in his podcast he helped bring Luther into AEW, so it does make sense.
They're buddies on the outside.
Yeah, I've listened to their interviews. I've listened to all that, and I love the fact that he brought in Luther. Even, he's introduced to a new audience, and I've seen his matches on Dark. His character itself is a little odd, but when he does those high-pitched screams, it's kind of like, yeah, you're not going to forget that.
If you like hardcore deathmatch wrestling, you can look on YouTube and find some of his like ECW style matches. They're fucking brutal. Like the guy takes what Jimmy Havoc did times 10. So, in my opinion, they need more guys like that because you don't hire these guys and not have something planned for them. But we'll move on. And Ryan, I'm going to tell you this right here, right now. You are going to start this topic. It is your man, Mr. from wherever, Wayne, whatever, Orange Cassidy, and Ted. Tell us about this.
This is one of the times I didn't care that much about this match. It was clear. I knew after Orange Cassidy, I knew because of BTE that Dark Order and Best Friends were going to feud because of that skit of involving Sue's mom. And that panned out, and then they brought her back again. And then even now, honestly, this feud with with Dark Order and Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, I think it's one of those story elements that came from BTE that's starting to bleed into Dynamite now. And at the same time, this was just a simple match. This is just for Orange Cassidy to get another win on his belt. Also, at the same time, he has something to do on the card. I think it shouldn't have been against 10, but I still like the fact that Orange Cassidy is on TV. You still get to see from the crowd. They still like him. Like he's still good with the crowd. Not the wrestlers, but the actual crowd that they had actually in the ring. But then at the same time, with 10 being an actual football athlete that's transitioned to wrestling, him and Cassidy did make sense on paper rewatching that match because we've seen in the past, especially in WWE, when they like to use foot athletes into wrestlers, they are green as shit. Like they're not great on chemistry. They're not good on transitions, or at least with mat techniques. So the fact that Cassidy, who is a lazy character, made sense on paper. I don't know. I guess the execution was just off for me.
The match was whatever, like Orange Cassidy. It's just to get him on TV more. Basically, what it was is right there between Jericho and the Cassidy match. The NBA Finals tip-off started, and they wanted to, they've got NXT going on USA, and they wanted to be counter programming. Yeah. I don't care. This match was a match. Whatever. Orange Cassidy got the win. Whatever. JB3, since you just returned, what do you think?
I liked it. I like that Orange Cassidy can go. I like that he used a new finisher. And as soon as he hit that finisher, something occurred to me in my brain, and it brought me back to the first match. And I don't know if anybody brought this up yet, but if they did, I'm going to bring it up again. If not, I'm going to bring it up for the first time. But seeing Ricky Starks and Darby Allin do what they did, and seeing Seeing what Orange Cassidy did, and seeing that finisher, and seeing all the guys on Dark, and seeing like how good John Silver, I really, really want to see a light heavyweight division start up in AEW, because I think it could be fire. I would say cruiserweight, but if it could, in the interest of being different, no one has a light heavyweight division that I know of right now. I'm sure someone does. Like,
I know boxing, they always like to do different weight divisions, so AEW can try to find a way to make it sound more sports sports centric.
Sure. But I think that would give, like, that would be something that would be cool. Like, just like a light heavyweight type of thing, so that the lower weight guys can actually, because that was one of the best parts about WCW, was when they had the cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Was going crazy in the beginning of the show. That was wild. That was great. As far as I know, we all loved it.
Even New Japan's junior heavyweight division, that they
the X division in 2002, like.
Oh yeah.
So they definitely have a. So I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick. Dose, go ahead and jump in, and then when he's done, Villain, that's on you guys. Just wrap this segment up. I'll be right back.
Okay. I thought the match was fine. I am sort of a little bit tired of nobody in the Dark Order except for Brody Lee being worth a damn. Well, Anna Jay, I guess. The match was fine. I liked this finisher better than the Orange Punch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was called, but I thought it was good. Everybody knows what I think about Orange Cassidy, but this match was fine. This match was fine. He's wrestling the guy without a name, so of course he was going to win. If they're going to add another title to the AEW world, I don't think it should be a lightweight or cruiserweight title for a couple of reasons. One, they've really worked very hard because of the way they built their roster and the way they're building their younger stars to not distinguish between weight classes, and it's kind of a cop-out for them, MJF and Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin and Ricky Starks and all these guys that they're building as sort of centerpieces to then be relegated to cruiserweight. I think people liked it in WCW just because it was new in North America. I don't think anyone really cared about the light heavyweight title or the cruiserweight title. TNA tried it, and then they went with the X division. It got noticeably better when people like Joe and other bigger guys started mixing in, and it got a little bit more unusual. And let's just point to 205 Live if you want to see how much interest there is in pure cruiserweights. But if you want to add more titles, they have a lot of people. They have a lot of three-man groups. Trios titles, I think, is the solution. You can be just as high-flying and more creative. So, I'm not opposed to titles, but I would go with trios.
They're constantly they've been teasing, or they've hinted at doing a trios. They even had trios record setups in a couple matches. All right. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, go ahead, Villain. My bad.
Jesus Christ, you talked 4 times in this one fucking segment about Orange Cassidy and fucking 10, bro.
I went like Orange Cassidy, so I had to talk.
Here. Let's put the Villain in his place.
Right, you don't have to put me on the thing. I'm not going to talk that much about this match. The match was a letdown. Dark Order was a team that I'm right now because of BT, and of course because of Dark. Even though they're losing matches on Dark also, so that's the only thing I don't get. They could have brought in somebody else for Cassidy to pin right here. Quick match, squash match, or Cassidy bust out some new moves. Get some momentum going from the Jericho match. It didn't have to be 10. That's the only thing I don't understand. If you have all these guys that you can use and gals on Dark, put them on the main, put them up there on, Dynamite if you need some guy to go over, because you're not doing the Dark Order any favors by them constantly losing matches. So that's why I was like, whatever. I forget the name of the finisher too, because it's in the video games. I usually give it to guys because it looks really cool. Christian actually used to use that finisher for a time. There was like 2 other people too that use that finisher when you come down, on the neck. But I've said since day one when we talked about AEW, I said they always needed at least 3 more titles, some kind of US, some kind of intercontinental, throwing a Hero or X or something cooler. You can name it, because a lot of guys are smaller. But I understand they don't want their guys to be kind of like, misplaced. But like guys like Sonny Kiss, our boys from Party, Santana, like the guys that ain't really doing much else in the tag team, they could win a title here and there. So, yeah, that's all I had to say about that one. I guess we still got 3 more hours because we're only halfway through AEW, and then we still got NXT to go through.
No, we're gonna jump through it. Next match, I'm gonna wrap this one up real quick. Next match was Britt Baker came back. She whooped Red Velvet's ass. She gave her after the win. She gave her the basically mandible claw.
Lockjaw.
Lockjaw. Thank you. Gave her the lockjaw 1, 2, 3. Great to see her back. That was good to go. And then finally we had Eddie Kingston's random challenger, which was the Butcher, took on Moxley. This was a hell of a match. I'm just going to run it through real quick, just because, like you said, we're kind of got a lot of shit to do. Basically, Mox looked from the get-go like he was in trouble. Butcher whooped on him. Mox came back, choked him out. Butcher has only been wrestling for 5 years. He looked really, really, really fucking good, in my opinion. Yeah. That's pretty much all about I got for it. If somebody wants to quickly throw something out there, they are more than welcome.
Yeah, we cannot.
Yeah, I'll throw something out real quick.
MJF Jericho segment.
Wow, shit. Yeah, you're right. I apologize.
But Villain, why don't you go first? Because you had something to say.
Just about the last match. The Britt Baker match was what it was supposed to be. I'm fine with that. She actually fought somebody that, was kind of, jobber status. Hate to say the term. But Red Velvet is actually a wonderful person. I met her 3 times out here in West Palm Beach when she wrestled for Full Throttle Pro Wrestling. So that's really cool. I seen her and a couple other people, and some of the other people went to Impact, and it was kind of used as a enhancement talent there, like a year and a half ago. So that's pretty
Did
cool.
you smash?
Oh my god!
No. Her and the other girl went to Impact right here, but anyway. The last match I thought was really good. When Butcher and the Blade first came in, I thought they were jobbers. The way Excalibur was like, "Oh, they're Butcher and the Blade," and it's like, we don't even know who you are, Excalibur. You're not even established yet. So but now they grow on me. They're getting really good in the ring. I like their white gear. When they have the white gear on, I think they look pretty cool. They work well as a team. They're a hell of a team. And he went the distance, and it was a little tease because you thought Phoenix or maybe Zero M would have challenged, but maybe they'll challenge in the future. But the outcome was dope. He put the submission on him, and I thought it was a good match. And I'm going to end there because I know everybody else wants to talk about that. And then we could go talk about what Evil Dos was talking about with the Jericho MJF stuff. Yeah.
I will say one thing about
the
match, and that is, and it's really not about the match, but it's sort of a tale of 2 promotions. WWE, something gets thrown in their way, and they stumble and bumble and maybe come up with something or recycle something. AEW gets hit with the same shit, and Lance Archer can't have a match, and they move to a ready-made story with Eddie Kingston, who has a faction with 4 other people in it, which is 4 other matches that they can go. And Eddie Kingston has a ready-made story for a rematch they never gave up. So just in case Lance Archer doesn't recover quickly enough or whatever the case may be, they definitely pivoted to a pretty darn good story. And now, we're talking about the Butcher versus Moxley, and we're happy about it. And there's at least 3 other matches that they could go and work with. And I think that is the benefit of booking everybody to feel like the championship is important and a goal instead of just one guy at a time. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about the Jericho MJF stuff, because we sort of skipped over it a few times, just thinking it was comedy or maybe we forgot or whatever. But it's obviously something more, and I thought this was the highlight of the show. MJF comes in with Wardlow, bringing gifts to everyone. He gives them all, a gift, a baseball bat, a shirt, a jacket. He doesn't have anything for Sammy, and Sammy's all upset. And and then they throw back to, do you want to be in the inner circle? Do you want me to be in the inner circle? And they do their talking at the same time thing, which it's a little bit overdone, but it's still funny. And then at the, he's like, we'll get back to you. MJF and Wardlow leaves, and Jericho says, nice talking to you, Wardlow, or why do you talk too much, Wardlow? Something funny like that, because he says nothing. And then Sammy goes, what a loo, and Jericho goes, no, perhaps not. So I just thought that the whole thing was really interesting. I think we're looking at a Sammy Guevara MJF sort of thing, which is interesting. Hager was looking not too fondly at Wardlow, so that might be a thing which is interesting. And if MJF enters the inner circle, a battle for leadership might be interesting. And I would not be surprised if whoever wins the MJF Sammy Guevara feud might not be the one to ultimately feud and be the at least AEW retirement for Chris Jericho down the line.
I like everything you just said.
Good night, everyone.
Go out on top.
Yeah, I'm going to hit you.
I fucking love everything you just said, because I agree wholeheartedly. I'd like to see a face Wardlow take on Jake Hager, just because I'd like to see them split and maybe have, Jericho kind of come comfort, MJF. Oh, it's okay. What a bastard sort of thing like they did, and him go, look at him and go, take out Wardlow. And then boom, Jake Hager and Wardlow have a feud. Just like Mr. Dose's favorite thing, big sweaty guys going at it. We know Wardlow can go. Look at the cage match he had with Cody. That was fucking great. Jake Hager, he had a pretty good match with Mox. So what the hell? I don't care. Mr. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Painmaker, what'd you think?
Keep adding the names, man. We see what happens.
Okay. Wait. Gentlemen, look at this shirt. He is supporting Selena Vega. I'm sorry, my girl Asuka is going to whoop her ass every time.
See, that's your problem. You saw the shirt and you assumed one thing. Yes, I support Zelina Vega, but that doesn't mean I'm 100% behind her. I know Zelina Vega from a few of her independent matches that she can go as a wrestler. She's also married to Aleister Black, so she does get training in MMA from him. And yes, the way WWE has represented her as just a manager, straight to wrestler with no build, yes, I can understand that there is no logic to why she immediately goes for a title shot. But it does not mean...
I'm just busting your balls.
I know you are, but it's still... but I'm still saying the same thing, that Zelina, if she's given the proper build, she can be... she at least she'll break that stupid mold of like what was originally the Trish Stratus mold from manager to wrestler. It can be like she can actually excel.
So we're really talking about a t-shirt now for a minute.
Screw. I'm going to get back to talking about MJF. All right. I did appreciate that skit there, because to me, I saw a different outcome. I thought, because last week, because when we were first with Jericho and Hager being a tag team, we were all kind of a little worried that what does this mean regarding like Pride and Powerful, or like with the inner circle involved, because everybody in the inner circle seemed to have fit a role. A part of me feels that with MJF inserting himself like with Jericho, it does seem to me that maybe we might get a split from inner circle. Like maybe a few wrestlers will join MJF, or Jericho will just be down to like, it could be either him and Jake Hager, or like him, Sammy, and Hager, and Prime Powerful not feeling very appreciative with Jericho, especially the fact that Jericho and Hager are now a tag team. If it was me, Pride and Powerful can go with MJF. That way, they'll still be a tag team in a faction or stable or a 4 or 3 man group. And then if we do get that Wardlow face turn, but also Pride and Powerful can be that little, they can be not goons, but the MJF's also like right and left hand. That way MJF will still have muscle in his team without Wardlow. Like there's so many storyline opportunities that comes out of this. But then the back and forth Jericho is still fantastic. I love how those guys are great on their comedic timing, because one thing we didn't touch on last week was how they touched on it again with like, so why did you call me a loser? I didn't call you a loser. I was calling the taxi cab a loser. I was calling Shivani a loser. I think we could get maybe 2 or 3 more weeks of Jericho and MJF doing this dance until finally they gotta pull the plug on it, or like really hit they gotta move forward with this story.
Yeah, so I also thought it was a very cool segment, and it's possible that you're right, Dose, and it could be more to it than what we had thought before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my thought on the MJF Chris Jericho promo.
Did Ghost freeze? Oh, okay. I thought you froze for a second because your head didn't move.
Oh no, I brought it up. I started the parade. I didn't want to go twice.
Oh snap!
And we just
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good segment. You guys didn't even talk about the main event, man. Like that's why I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about this last segment since everybody else talked about it. The last segment we're actually talking about. I think you guys are missing the stuff that's gonna happen. If I'm thinking correctly, I'm thinking Sammy. Like you guys brought up, I think MJF is gonna feud with Sammy, and that's how Sammy's gonna get kicked out of Inner Circle, and then that's not right. I don't know what that noise.
Yeah, that's not.
What's that noise?
I guess it was Matt. I guess his audio had trouble.
No, it's not there. Okay, I'm gonna get back to it. I think MJF. Yeah, I think MJF is gonna feud with Sammy. That's gonna get Sammy kicked out of the Inner Circle. That's gonna turn Sammy face, and maybe he'll align with Matt Hardy. Since Matt Hardy's probably not gonna wrestle for a little bit, Matt Hardy could be like, I was trying to tell you these guys were wrong. And then I think that's how Wardlow could turn face, because MJF, he's going to start buddying up with Jericho, Hager, and them. And Wardlow, I think he's going to be the one that MJF is going to try to like punk out and clown. And somehow he turns, and maybe him and Sammy could form a team. Maybe they'll win the titles next year. This has been their first year. So in the second year, maybe they could go for team titles. But I could see both of those guys being faces,
I was agreeing that too. I mean, I think the MJF segment's done, but I do want to talk a little bit on the main event with Kingston giving Moxley his challenger. I do admit, Butcher came off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Butcher came off looking very, very, very strong. From his slow entrance into the ring with Eddie teasing the whole thing out, with him just dominating Moxley, like being the power guy, being the big power guy in that match. It was good, honestly. I don't want to see Butcher and Blade split up. I mean, I'm not saying they are going to split up, but I'm just saying if there's more instances where Eddie Kingston uses Butcher and Blade as his tools of instrument, fuck, I was going to say tools of vengeance, but Eddie Kingston has no vendetta. But I'm just saying, if he does implement Butcher or Blade in singles opportunity matches again, I will not say no to seeing Butcher go do a singles match against another wrestler that Kingston or his family is going to feud up against. And plus, Eddie King, and I like the idea that Kingston, after his shot against Moxley, he's now going to play he's going to do the head games. He's going to try to get into Moxley's head mentally. And I love the fact that it's Moxley against these 5 guys. So until we hear when Archer recovers, this is a great feud for Mox to have in between that time. And yeah, the possibilities are endless. I can't wait to see if Kingston puts Moxley up against Pentagon or against Ray Phoenix or against Blade, or we get Kingston Moxley too.
There's one other thing that we didn't talk about, a segment that I think was important along the same line, and that was Hangman Page's commentary and how he got visibly upset when they were talking about Kenny Omega going into singles and singles competition only, and he almost looked like he was like a discarded lover and got up and pouted away. I did like when Christopher Daniels got kicked out. I said, "Hey, get me another drink," but I'm still confused about why they care. I mean, Hangman sort of left him, and now. And they both are acting like they're jilted lovers, but it's like it seemed like they sort of agreed to not tag any longer, and now they're both acting like they want to and don't want to at the same time. I
can get the complete confusion. They've really not sold the story here because after
I don't give a shit about this match.
Is that sound gone?
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Okay, because my kid dropped my computer the other day and it's acting really weird, so I apologize for that. So we're gonna jump just over to NXT, gents. We're gonna quickly cover it and get through it because we've got TakeOver to talk about. So let me get that back up real quick, and then I am. So basically, starting it off, we had Shotzi Blackheart and Dakota Kai. This was a quick pace match for both of them. A few close pinfalls. Really weird thing is, Shotzi Blackheart pulled a Jeff Hardy and Lita move, which I thought was really interesting. She really reminds me of Lita, like a lot. I liked it. Dose, since you're sitting next to me, what do you think?
I think the match was fine. I don't really care much about Dakota Kai. I did like how they continued the Raquel Gonzalez, Rhea Ripley thing, and Shotzi Blackheart almost broke her neck.
That's true. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, that was a scary goddamn spot. I mean, as much as I love Shotzi Blackheart being the one to take risks to show her, not extreme, just more of her. I don't want to think of a word to it, but just her personality, her wrestling style. I mean, I like it when she uses a mid rope senton as her finisher because the way she uses that by turning it into like a cannonball as finisher, putting more pressure, putting more gravity into the fall. I see how that works, but when that move she did with Dakota, I'm like, no, I do not want to see another scare. I mean, Tegan Nox is already out because she has torn her ACL, I think, for the 3rd time. We don't need another women's wrestler taking out again, especially in NXT, where they're going to have to once again rebuild that division from the ground up. And I do look forward to seeing Raquel against Rhea Ripley. I mean, hopefully it's not going to play off like a Haas woman fight, but more of a bruiser fight between the two of them. And personally, for me, I'm big into Dakota Kai, and unfortunately, I hate the fact that she had to be the one to take the brunt. She had to take the loss.
Yeah. If Villain or JP3 is around, they can talk about it. If not, we'll move on. Nope. Okay. Next, we had kind of an interview, kind of weird little vignette between Santos Escobar and Isaiah Scott. They're going to have a match at TakeOver 30. Awesome. Did the vignette for me do anything? No, but Ryan, what'd you think of the vignette?
I mean, it was okay. I like the fact that it's reassuring us that Santos Escobar is going to. I mean, it's clear. It was just pretty much Santos Escobar. I've been a champion. I'm going to walk in takeover. I'm going to walk out takeover as champion. But I think the one thing that intrigues me is with Isaiah Scott, because some of the matches I've seen in the past, he has been giving off more a bit of a, like he's showing bit by bit more of an aggressive attitude. And if we're going to see Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza get involved in TakeOver, I think the package does help to serve that Scott is going to up the ante in his match against Escobar.
Fair enough. Dose?
I like the rivalry between the two of them. I think their matches are good. I think they match up well. I don't think this segment did anything for them. It certainly didn't do anything for me. Santos Escobar has the right look, but he has the wrong voice for that role, or the wrong delivery, or something. Something just didn't feel like, the leader of a faction kind of thing. And Isaiah sort of sounded a little bit like a dork. So I don't know. Whatever. It was fine. We're going long tonight. I don't feel like I need to say more about this segment.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. We're going to skip a few things. Kushida took out Ace. I'm not sold on this tough guy Kushida yet. Okay. I'm going to give it time. He's got a match this weekend, so basically he ran through him. Big whoop. They're trying to make him look like a badass. Adam Cole called out Austin Theory. Basically, he started running up and down Theory, saying that Kyle O'Reilly is, they're all undisputed. Austin Theory came out. He said, either you fight me or we're going to fuck you up, basically. And they had a pretty good match. I actually enjoyed this match. There was a lot more back and forth than I thought it was going to. Cole got the win by, his old faithful last shot in 1, 2, 3. Ryan, anything you want to add?
I actually didn't watch this match. I was jumping back and forth between Dynamite. It was one of the matches I'm like, I can skip.
Fair enough. Dose?
I feel largely the same way as you. I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, I think it was similar to Moxley Butcher in that it was a pretty good match, but the outcome was never really in doubt. So the only question, sort of similar to the Butcher match, was, are the other guys going to run in? But clearly, since Cole is now positioned as a face, and O'Reilly seems like he's positioned as a face as well, there wouldn't be a run-in. We're not sure about Fish and Strong.
Yeah. Is Fish out? Like I heard reports he might have been hurt.
that's always a report.
I mean, it wouldn't
Sorry,
be
my fault.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything recent.
But like I said, it wouldn't be surprising if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Go away.
But that's it. No other comments on that match. I will say something about NXT General. I thought that while I didn't think this was the greatest show, I enjoyed the jumping from match to backstage segment. I like when what's his face ran into Dexter Lumis, it was nice to see.
Cameron Grimes. Yeah,
Cameron Grimes, right. I like that they tried the vignette thing. I didn't love the interview segment at the end of the showdown with Shawn Michaels, but I like that they tried it. So I like that they're trying to do different things to make it more of a digestible TV show. I just don't think it was the greatest job of it, but I like the thought.
I like the fact you brought that up because that was going to be the next thing we talk about. I don't really care. A spoiler for next, I don't see Balor losing the title right here. I think, if anything, it's going to lead to something between Balor and Cole. But I think it could be something entertaining. Let's just wrap it up real quick. Just real quick thoughts. The Power Couple versus Damian Priest and Io Shirai. Can we just say that Damian and Priest and Io Shirai standing side by side is just two sexy people. Like,
Yeah. Who could say that?
oh my god! Like, I being a heterosexual male, Damian Priest is fucking yoked. Like, he looks really good. And little tiny Io Shirai, they did this spot in the match where Damian Priest gets Io Shirai on his shoulders, and she does that flip off of his shoulders.
Yeah.
It was great. Like, I think the power couple should have picked up the win. I like the fact that Priest takes the low blow, and it's a 1-2-3. It's a good way to send off to TakeOver.
I actually think that the power couple losing was a good thing. Not because it's going to telegraph who's going to win a TakeOver, but because the fact that they're not the fact that they're heels, but then of course with the chip stacked against them, I know Gargano, he's gonna give a good match at TakeOver. That's 100% without a doubt. And Io and Candice have gone, and they've also put on a good show at previous TakeOver. So this is just like, it's a good pairing what we have here. And I liked how it ended with the power couple holding both belts to give you that image of can they walk out as champions. Because to me, I think Gargano still deserves another run at the NXT North American Championship, just like he deserves another run at the NXT Championship. But at the same time, Gargano feels like another good competitor against Priest to see how well he's going to be as champion.
I think Gargano gets called up in the draft, but that's the whole other story. Villain, what do you think of the power couple and Io Shirai and Damian Priest going at it?
I thought it was fun. You know, we haven't seen a mixed tag team match on NXT in a while, so it was a good match. You know, all wrestled really well. I like the the end where you seen the heels, holding titles, the captivating picture leading into the pay-per-view. That's how you kind of want to go.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. That wraps that up. Let's close out the show real quick with our. Is he glitching at anybody else or me?
I had him halfway, then the audio kind of went out.
Okay, so it's not just my computer. Okay. So, gentlemen, we'll jump real quick. A couple. Hi, whoever you are. Hi. That's. I'm guessing that's one of the kids from Caleb's class. Hi, Gary. I'm guessing it's Adriana. So, gentlemen, let's jump real quick into it. Let's wrap this up. We got Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. I think Kushida takes this 1-2-3.
Hello?
What happened?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you stopped. You made your call and then nothing.
Oh,
you were saying, you went dead a little bit. I'm like, did you freeze?
No, sorry. Something. I had a comment pop up and I looked at it. Sorry. Go ahead, Dos. Kushida, Velveteen Dream.
I don't really have a very good feel for this match. I don't think that they've given up on Velveteen Dream. I think that he's going to win, or there's going to be like a double DQ or something like that. But I'm not going to ignore that they've been building up Kushida, but I don't know. This is just a gut feeling. I think Velveteen Dream prevails.
Alrighty. Painmaker.
Honestly, I don't have any expectations for this match. I want to see a new aggressive side of Kushida, but part of me feels like it's wasted on Velveteen Dream. So I'm going to go with Kushida.
All right, Villain.
Kushida.
Alrighty. And then we have our gangster match of the night. Santos Escobar. I still think he needs to be sitting at a table with a mountain of cocaine in front of him, but I know WWE wouldn't allow that. But that's okay. And Isaiah Swerve Scott. This is for the Cruiserweight Championship. I think Santos retains. Scrot will go down. Painmaker.
Well, even though part of me is going with the fact that Escobar is going to retain, I'm actually going to go on a limb and say Scott's going to take the championship. So then it can build into an intense rivalry that they can build out till the end of the year for Escobar to regain. So it can be a 2-time.
Ooh, I like that. Villain.
They haven't really done much with this division, so I'm sticking with the champion in this one.
Radio and Mr. Dose.
That's funny. This is the second match in a row I'm going to say I don't have a really good feel for it. And normally I'd say when I'm not sure who's going to win a match, I think that that's actually a sign of good booking, and that's intriguing for a pay-per-view. But I think it's just because I don't care that much about most of the storylines in NXT, so I think it's a bad thing in this case. I agree with Ryan's, the Painmaker's analysis. I think that Swerve gets a title, and I think that Santos and Gang get it back at some point down the road.
Alrighty. Let's move on to our first of the power couple. We've got Damian Priest and his North American Championship taking on Johnny Takeover, Johnny Gargano, Mr. Takeover, whatever you want to call him. I think Damian Priest just picked it up, and he's not going to drop it anytime soon. We're going to go to the man to my right, Mr. Evil Dose himself.
I agree. It's going to be a good match, but it's not Johnny Gargano's time. It's Damian Priest's time. He's their star right now.
Yep. Villain.
I'm going to have to agree just because of the way he just out, like, not even a month ago. So I got to give it to Damian. Hopefully they build something with him.
Right on. Playmaker.
Well, obviously Damian. I wanted to be Gargano because he's got, not because I like the idea of the power couple with the belts, but I just think there needs to be a shakeup every now and then. Like at a takeover, instead of like a main belt, like maybe when you have belts being defended, have one of them change hands, just to add the idea of some chaos, or at least, throw some suspense involved. Like, will the others retain? But I'm one Priest.
Okay. So I'm going to use that as a segue then into the other half, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. I personally, I don't know if I believe it's going to happen or not, but I really like to see it. I'm going to go on a limb and take Candice LeRae. I think she could at least have it. And then we could have the Io Shirai, comeback match down the road. Maybe say something stipulated or something, Maybe Gargano gets involved and picks up the win somehow, and she, surprise roll up her or something. Painmaker.
Yeah, I do think as well, Candice winning this belt and then her and Io having a rematch down the road. I think this would also help solidify, because I think out of all the faces, there's Io, Shotzi. There's just those two, and then Rhea. So I think having Candice with the belt, we can tease an Io-Rhea match down the road. But right now, I think Candice not needs the belt, but I think she should win the belt. I think she should win it.
Right on. Villain, how about you, brother?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Candice could easily win this one. Not easily, but it makes sense. If she wins it, Io Shirai is still looked at as a great wrestler, so it doesn't hurt her in the long run. I just don't know because I don't know what other faces they have to feed to Candice before she gets her next true opponent. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Candice because some titles have to change at a takeover.
Right on. And Dose, round us out.
Okay. I don't think Johnny Gargano is ever getting drafted to the main roster. I think Candice LeRae wins. I do think Io Shirai is getting drafted to the main roster.
Well, it's harsh reality. Yeah.
As a friend of Asuka, but it doesn't work out.
Well, and it's funny you said that because maybe we could see another version of the Kabuki Warriors, but where they actually have good matches and, actually have a run.
Or it doesn't work out and they start fighting right away.
God, that says a lot about WWE booking face and heel turns of. Oh my God!
Well, this was me booking, not them.
No, but even then, WWE still has an issue with face heel turns. They always like to do the best friends betray each other face and heel turn. That's like their bread and butter or the constant rabbit out of the hat.
Well, it is wrestling 101.
Yeah. Either way, either one of these two, whoever wins, I think the opposite gets called up. And then, last but not least, for the NXT title. Mr. Finn Balor taking on Kyle O'Reilly. Surprisingly, I am really looking forward to this match because I hadn't really heard of Kyle O'Reilly. I didn't do my homework on him until recently, but I went back and watched a lot of his stuff on YouTube. He's really fucking talented. Not to be the tag team guy, he's really talented. But Balor retains. Villain, let's start with you, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your rest. Excuse me, your wrestling card, because Jesus Christ, O'Reilly is a great wrestler. I mean, he's been there for 3 years. He's had matches where you can see that he was great. Before NXT run, but yeah, he's been on NXT for 3 years, man. Come on, bro. You now looking him up? That's crazy.
Time out.
Finn Balor's going to retain.
Hold on. Time out. I do have to admit I hadn't really started watching NXT till recently, so that's on me. I have to go back and watch, so that's on me.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, those guys have been great since they were called, what were they called? The Red Dragons? Some shit like that.
Yeah, Red Dragon.
They've always been great. Anyway, Finn Balor going to retain. Yeah, Finn Balor's going to retain because he literally just won the belt not even a month ago. And I can't wait to see if there's some shenanigans from Undisputed Era, or we get the mystery person. That's probably going to be it probably is going to be some guy that was in WWE, and he was never a heavyweight champion, so it's going to be some guy. But yeah, I think it's going to be intriguing. Maybe we'll put the beat down on Finn after the match, and that's how the show ends. Showing the new guy in NXT because they desperately need one. So yeah, that I think what people really want to see. Nobody really cares who's going to win the match because they know. They want to see who's this new person showing up.
Fair enough. Painmaker.
Look, we know where it's going to end. Balor retains, but I'm interested in how we get there, that journey, how this match is going to play out. I'm hoping that this is going to be a great platform for O'Reilly. So then it's a reminder to everyone who is not familiar with his background that he is a great singles wrestler, as you had discovered, Maddie. Even I've seen from some old Ring of Honor episodes. So I hope this is a good star-making performance for Kyle O'Reilly.
Alrighty, and Dos, wrap us up.
Okay. Well, all the talk about Kyle O'Reilly and Red Dragon and the past, I'm going to go a little segue and suggest that all of our viewers and the three of you, if you're not doing it, to watch the Ring of Honor Pure Tournament. I watch Ring of Honor because it's my local promotion, and sort of I do a little review of it, and I sort of fell in love with it, kicking and screaming. It's exactly the kind of matches you guys would love and that I usually don't like, so it's sort of strange, but I think that you would really enjoy it. Anyway, but I am familiar with Kyle O'Reilly's work. I actually wouldn't be terribly surprised if they pull a fast one on us and Kyle O'Reilly does win, a short run, but sort of to reward him for his hard work and
done that with Gargano,
diabetes and all that. I'm going to give that a 20% chance. I do think Finn wins. I do think that the Undisputed Era heel faction part, if Fish is still okay and Roderick Strong, that they somehow interfere in themselves. And I do think that the villain is correct, that the old NXT champion will return and make his presence known, probably as a fake face for a period of time. And I do think that you can believe that.
Oh my God. If he returns with that, if that is true, oh my God, I think NXT just buried him.
Well, now, since you brought that up, we're going to go around the horn just out of curiosity, because I think I'm on the same page as this man. Painmaker, who is the mystery guy?
Well, thankfully, because of Raw, we know it's not Robert Roode.
Boo, that was mine. Come on, bro. That was my joke.
I thought you already made that joke. I came in late, man. I thought you already made that joke.
No, I was holding that one till now, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, make it right. No, I'm just playing. I love you, brother. You're good. Go ahead.
No, to be honest, of old NXT champions, Dallas is the only one that makes sense. I would have to I'll have to once again dip back into NXT, see what other champions they had before. Yeah, I mean, Bo Dallas is the only logical choice in my mind.
Well, I can actually answer that question for you real quick. The champions were Rollins, Big E, Bo Dallas, Neville, Zayn, Owens, Balor, Joe Nakamura, Rude, McIntyre, Andrade, Black, Ciampa, Gargano, Cole, Lee, Cross, Balor.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember who. I wasn't sure if there was someone in between when Big E, Neville, and Sami Zayn and Bo were like champions during that time. I thought that's what I was going to think about my research.
I think the only I think the only rational explanation is it's Bo Dallas or somebody that. No, see that.
See, that was we'll find out soon.
Yeah, I guess we will. Dose, are you sticking with Bo?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's the only one that you just named that it is still with the company and isn't doing a thing.
Yep. Villain, who you got?
Here, I actually have two picks. I'm thinking it's going to be either Tessa Blanchard or Rob Van Dam that's going to show up. And they're going to both beat down the heavyweight champion and challenge the champion for that title. Those are the two I'm picking.
I like either one of those picks just because they are so far out of the box. Personally, I'd like to see Tessa Blanchard in AEW, though. I know.
But neither one is a former NXT champion.
But exactly. But you never know. Who knows?
But they told us it was a former NXT champion.
I mean, you never know.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Well, seriously, hold on. Seriously, who the fuck's gonna cheer when Bo Dallas comes out at the end of the main event? He's a fucking scrub.
There's no crowd. There's no one to cheer or boo.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I mean,
it don't matter. Like even the are people really gonna be on? Man, I can't wait till Bo Dallas takes the title next month. Like seriously,
you know who
what's he
will
gonna do?
cheer? You know who will cheer? People who clap. You deserve it. And that's the NXT fan.
Wait, okay, I'm gonna challenge that one though, because as of today, they're back in the Performance Center. Yeah. Does anybody? You know what? That's something I want to discuss real quick before we wrap. Do you guys have any theories on why they left Full Sail and went back to the Performance Center? Dos, I know you run that. You're a mod over on that channel. Have you heard any whispers?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same as last week. I heard that Nikki Cross was exposed to Killian Dane, that they were exposed to COVID. It's the same reason there's no Raw on the ground. It's the same reason the Retribution hasn't been on TV. And the only thing I don't know is whether or not Shayna and or Nia were also exposed because of Shayna's old running buddies. Nobody has said anyone has COVID. Just it was there and somebody tested positive. I don't know who, and they were exposed. I guess they wiped down and sanitized the whole place. The disease doesn't last on surfaces very long. It lasts with people. So I guess,
No.
I'm not a doctor. That's what I heard. That's what I know.
Right. Now, my question is, did you hear any whispers why they've left Full Sail and went back to the PC?
No.
Okay, because I don't understand why they do it. I actually like the look of Full Sail. It has a different feeling than the PC to me, but it is what
they redecorated it. Maybe they made it more colorful.
I don't know. All right, guys, let's wrap this shit up. And then I'm going to do a little housekeeping before we call it a night. Mr. Villain, tell us here at Suplex City the interweb, sir, and I'll give you two sweet. Where can people find you?
You can find me here every Thursday night, Suplex City Chats, where we muck up about wrestling. Of course, you can find me on Facebook, Jack of All Trivia, YouTube, Jack of All Trivia.
Alrighty. And then, you know what? We'll go up this time. Mr. He's so evil, he's dose as much. Too sweet to you, good sir. Where can the good people find you?
Too sweet. You can find me here every Thursday, except when we're on Friday on Suplex City Chats. And when we have our ad hoc pay-per-view recaps, I don't know if we're going to have one this weekend or not, but the boss, Matty G, will let the world know. Check out my podcast, Garden of Doom, not wrestling related, but I think you'll find it cool. On Twitter, Icarus Fell MD, if you want to hang out there. And I'm on Facebook at the Solid Monster Sounds Off Facebook Wrestling Group.
I do listen to his podcast. It is quite entertaining as hell. I do say so myself. Mr. Villain, Mr. Painmaker, too sweet to you, brother. Tell us where the people can find you.
Right here on every week Thursday, Suplex City Chats. Hopefully this time I will be here on time instead of late. People want to check me out. That's not just about wrestling. I just launched a new YouTube channel about the YouTube channel, the Movie Trivia Schmodown, where we just break down competitors and movie trivia. We pretty much do like a sports analysis. You know, we look at their careers, statistic reviews, character based, because Movie Trivia Schmodown is also influenced by wrestling, so you get 5% of that. But you check it out, Mount Schmodown. We're having our newest episode coming out this Saturday.
Alrighty, and absolutely check them out. They do great character studies over there. I'd love to be a part of that one of these days, because you know me, I like to get my nose everywhere. And then of course I'm Matty G. You can find me right here. I am the Game Zone Commissioner on this channel. Tomorrow night, since this is live, we will be doing a live action role-playing game. The good people over at Dark Hills Events are going to come over, and they have set up an RPG for us to play around the world of Freddy versus Jason. Basically, we've all picked horror characters, and the Game Master is developing characters for us, and we're going to be playing live right here at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. So if you're Arizona time, that's 7 o'clock, just so all the little kiddies know what I'm talking about. Sunday. We will be back. I'm going to institute this now, except for AEW pay-per-views, because they are on Saturdays, and we already have a live show that day. So pretty much for WWE and everything else, we are going to be doing our recap shows basically about 30-40 minutes after the pay-per-view is over. We will go live. I am going to cancel Movie Mania that night, starting with this Sunday. We will be doing it just so we don't screw up like we did and completely forget. That way we're all together. We're usually talking about it anyway, so why not all look at each other and call each other stupid? Don't forget to check out our sister channel, TMG Trivia. We do all things trivia over there. The man below me runs what we call Franchise Wars. Basically, it is, if you watch the movie Trivia Schmodown, it is basically our Star Wars league, except for it's not Star Wars. It is any franchise. It could be Nightmare on Elm Street. It could be, I'm still pushing for a Fast and Furious franchise war.
Yeah, Die Hard. We can do animated comedies, heck, rom-com, sports franchises. It's endless.
Choose. We get together and we'd love to write questions for that. For our boy JB3, who had to pop off earlier because, well, adulting is adulting. Check him out at Nerd Entertainment Network, Combat Wrestling Trivia. For everybody here, my family, too sweet to all of you. Yep, don't mind my dislocated finger from when I was in high school. Ladies and gentlemen, too sweet to all of y'all. We'll see you tomorrow for After Dark Takeover and Sunday for Suplex City, the NXT TakeOver edition.